Good evening and welcome to Conversations with Cheryl Weston. Tonight, which is Tuesday, May 6th, 2025, we're 7 days away from May 13th, the final election day. But many of you have already requested your early voting ballot, and please make sure you get those turned in. Don't just sit on it. Don't leave it laying around. Fill it out and then drop it off in one of the boxes because you need to make sure today would be the last day that you probably by mail, if you do it by mail, would make it there. Because you can't count on that old mail like we used to be. We're going backwards. So anyway, make sure that if you've gotten your early ballot, you have either taken it out, dropped it in one of the election boxes, or you have taken it and out to the Douglas County Election Commission's office, one way or another, but make sure you get that ballot turned in. Make sure this is important. This is a critical election in the history of Omaha, Nebraska. For the reason is this is going to make a difference because of what we have in the national administration and everyday decisions that are going to be made for you for the next 4 years. Also, um, we have to make sure that we get out and become informed about our voters, our candidates. And that's one of the reasons why I'm going to talk about the second candidate in District 2 tonight. Also, um, I just think that, it's important, as I've said over and over, folks, if this was not important, why would there be barriers put up to keep you from voting, or encouraging you not to vote? Okay. And one thing that I want to make sure it's clear right at the beginning so it doesn't get lost. A week or so ago, or a few days ago, I was on a podcast with Mr. Sherman Wells and Joaquin Fox. And afterwards, someone made a claim that it was stated by Mr. Wells not to vote because um, the group that he was involved in, the advocacy group, had decided not to endorse either candidate for District 2. But they had endorsed John Ewing. And I wanted to make sure that it was never said, because we don't have the right, anyone who's having a podcast or something, we don't have the right to tell you not to vote. And anything that I'm going to say, I can speak for myself. I'm always going to encourage you, and I will tell you how I feel about a candidate or present the facts to you about that candidate, but I don't have the right to tell you not to vote. And I'm always going to encourage you to vote, whatever you feel that you should vote. And I want to make something else clear. When people who are considered leaders, community advocates, or influence, they are giving their opinion, folks. That doesn't mean you have to do that. You always have that right to do whatever you think is right. So, with that said, I want to continue here. We want to move along so that we can get everything in, and hopefully, we won't have our technology problems. Uh, so, let's move along. And if it works, we're going to try to bring up. Um, do. Okay. All right. All right. We want to go into now the uh second candidate for District 2, Miss Lavanya Goodwin. This is a picture of the one of the mailers that we received. Lavanya Goodwin for Omaha City Council District 2. She usually talks and begins each one of her at her debates is she has her roots as an Omaha native and her education at Central High School, Creighton University, which gave her a deep understanding of our neighborhood's history and potential. The founder of the North 24th Street Business Improvement District, initiatives focused on crime prevention through environmental design have contributed to a 50% year-over-year decrease in the homicide rates in the area. And that is very kind of misleading because in the area that she's talking about, it is in North 24th Street, the BID area. As a member of the International Economic Development, Lavania's revitalization work is evident in projects like the Goodwin Spencer Street Barbershop and the Goodwin Heritage Garden at 24th and Spencer Street. Now, I have a problem with that because if you are a city council representative, you are being representative from one district in the 7 members, but you're supposed to be representing all of the voters in your district, which covers more than just North 24th Street. Also, you are for all of the Omaha citizens because you're part of that. You're one vote. So I have a problem with that because all her experience and everything is only in North 24th Street BID. Let's continue on. The backside, Goodwin, current, bold, and impactful leadership. Work to pass policies to reduce gun violence, increase public safety, and engage youth. I'm not quite sure on how much youth that was engaged or to pass the policy, which focused mainly, again, on North 24th Street. All of that's good, but you're not just representing North 24th Street as a city council member. Beautifying neighborhoods. There's only one neighborhood that you have been working to beautify. Founded grassroots organizations to beautify neighborhoods and improve streets. That's the BID and the Goodwin Legacy. Raised $15 million year to date to support North Omaha businesses and upgrade infrastructure. I have a problem with that because according to the facts, when Representative Bacon was running, he's the one that said he's the one that brought $15 million to support North Omaha businesses. However, Ms. Goodwin claims it was her. Something's not right on that. I can't say who's at it. But here again, we are only here to educate you and inform you on the individual. Because North Omaha, you keep complaining about things haven't changed and it's this. Well, if you keep doing things the same way that you do, then what do you think is going to change? It's just like if you keep changing or keep not voting for whatever reason, or you keep making your decision to vote based upon a name and not the actual candidate, then nothing's going to change. Because I think the name is fine. The legacy, the Goodwin legacy is fine. Because we all know in North Omaha about John Goodwin, who helped the community, Dan Goodwin, Nate, we all know the Goodwin. The Goodwins are a good name and family. But the Goodwins are not running. It is Lavanya Goodwin who married Dan Goodwin who is running. Get it straight, not twisted. Moving along, here's those pictures. Goodwin Heritage Garden. Nothing wrong with it. I have no problem. That's what you want to call it? Call it. But again, here is the Goodwin. Now there's that fence. Okay, moving along. This is another picture. So when you see something that is fenced in, closed in, iron rod, what does that tell you? Or what does it imply to you? Definitely keep out. I got that. But does it show inclusiveness? Does it show where you are these grassroots organizations to beautify and improve for this everyone? Or is it just for you? Here is the barbershop that is next to the Goodwin Garden Legacy. The barbershop. This barbershop received funding from the block grant money. The outside has been taken care of, and this sat for several years. They did a lot of the front, and then it just sat there. And inside has not been completed, was taken down to the studs. But then when you decide to run for election, now you want to start getting the inside fixed up. Now let's take a look go further down 24th Street, and we find this building, which is the Native Omaha's building, which has been sitting there for approximately the last 18 months or so. This is the point. Upcoming is Native Omaha Day this year. Will this be completed or will this be as it is? Again, this is North 24th Street. This is your leadership. This is what's shown. This is the Carnation Ballroom, which is to the east, or I'm sorry, south of the Goodwin Barbershop and the Goodwin Garden Legacy. This building received block grant money, and this has been like this, oh, probably for what, the last 18 months, 2 years or so. All they did was put this front facade up here, and then actually they attempted to sell the building, and it had a for sale sign. And when they found out, because someone went to the city and they found out that, hey, if you go and try to sell this building, we can't stop you from selling it, but you will have to pay back the grant money because the grant money was given under certain stipulations. So they had at one time they had a leasing sign put up here that they were leasing. If you look real closely, you can see there's nothing but junk, 2x4s, stuff like this. But last week and the week before, this came up, Carnation Ballroom. They had to have some rezoning done for space that's on the opposite side in the back, and they were getting a TIF for a little over 200,000. And in that, they claimed that they didn't say they were actually going to do, but the possibility of making this building be able to provide 52 permanent jobs and 50 construction jobs. So you tell me what you're going to put in here. This was a historical landmark. So are you going to go build upward and change the outlook of this historical landmark? Hmm. If you go directly, or you could say catechorded from the Goodwin Barbershop, this building not completed. And the main one that was really had work done on this has been the Sacred Heart or Heartland Ministries, which they have done a fantastic job with that building and a fantastic job within the community. But again, this is North 24th Street. This is what you claim your leadership in. But then I remember now, at every debate, she has always said it is a very complex and it takes time. So if it's so complex and it takes time, how come that time got the good ones properties all fixed up? Hmm. Okay, moving along. This is another example of what North 24th Street looks like. But you see this fence along here? This is the enclosed of the Goodwin property. Hmm. That's right. So, uh, that's the end of that. So we're going to take a little pause here and we will um, get this closed out. And we will come back. We are now into another part of it. And I wanted to go over a few more items. So now that I've given you that information and facts on which the second candidate, I will make my comments as I'm not supporting. Well, let me back that up. I do not endorse, and they didn't ask me for an endorsement, and they don't want it really. I am not impressed with either candidate, but I'm going to vote. I am going to vote. I'm going to vote based upon the facts. And I want to make this clear, folks, because again, at the last podcast that I was on, there seemed to be some misunderstanding about uh, someone had said, we were telling people not to vote. That's not true. You may vote for the mayoral race, and you don't have to vote for your city council person. You can vote for either candidate for city council, or you may write in a candidate. Again, I want to make this clear. But remember, the write-ins will all go into a pot of write-ins for any position that's on the ballot, because there is no candidate who decided to run as a write-in candidate that completed the $10 fee and signed the affidavit that's necessary in order to be a write-in candidate. So what it's saying is, if you want to go and vote, you could even vote for just the city council and not have to vote for the mayor. That is your decision, folks. But the point is, go and vote. Make your ballot. So you could say, well, if I don't vote for him, then my vote. No, your ballot is going to be counted for whichever you mark. Whatever you mark on those boxes, those fill it in, that's what's going to be counted. So if you want to vote for the mayor and you don't want to vote for city council, you can do that. If you want to vote for city council and you don't want to vote for the mayor, you can do that. But it's your choice. And I don't have the right to tell you who to vote for and not to vote. I can just say, I'm not impressed with either candidate, but I have the facts together, so I'm not going, and I am going to vote. You can count on that. Well, I've already voted. So I voted, I showed you my ballot, who I endorsed, who I'm supporting. You can tell from that who I'm supporting. Um, but, the point is get out and vote. It's your decision. This is too critical to pass up. Omaha, we need leadership. We need leadership. Um, District 2, we are in a situation, as some people say, the lesser of the evils. I don't know if that's kind of the way you should say it or proper, but it's the two candidates, that are left. Those are because, and we're at that because you didn't come out and vote in the primary. So what can I say? All I'm trying to do is to give you information and facts on maybe that will help you to decide who you want to vote for and who you don't want to vote for. So that's what I wanted to get out. I am not publicly endorsing or supporting either candidate for District 2. It's your choice. So I want to pull up another page here. We've got you back up with us, and we have our Facebook page, Conversations with Cheryl Weston. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because there were several postings that have been made, and this one came out today by Jasmine Harris, who ran for the mayoral candidate. And this is what's called when you give support and you ran for something, perhaps you didn't, but you saw the value in the person who did get to be number one or two. Jasmine came out with this. I have made the decision to endorse John Ewing for Omaha. And what I like about how she did this is she identified the reasonings. Not that she had to. She could have just said, endorse John, but she didn't. I decided to endorse John in this election cycle for these reasons. His willingness to sit down and talk with community members and advocates to hear from them directly. His openness to learn more about issues from the perspective of community members to ensure the solution is people-centered and involves them. And three, his understanding and acceptance to be held accountable by the people of our communities across this city. John and I met and have agreed to continue to have conversations on how we can work together to ensure Omaha's future, which includes all of us, and is brighter for our young folks. I encourage you to not let perfect be the enemy of good. We can start with this change in order to save the way for a greater future. And I love that. Um, and kudos to her for stepping forward and trying to encourage. If you voted for Jasmine and it didn't work out, we have a candidate she's supporting. And all of those things too that she talked about here, that are for a leader in the mayor, look for, are those same things, qualities, a leader in District 2 City Council? Or any, because there's some of you who aren't from District 2, but think about this for your city council person. Do they have those qualities? Are they willing to sit down and talk with community members and advocates to hear from them directly? Are they willing and held to be accountable by the people of our communities? Those are things that you need to be looking. So whatever city council member is in your district, ask yourself, do they have these qualities? And then, does the person you want for mayor have the qualities that are listed here? Also wanted to bring this up for District 2. The Divine Nine will be hosting a Meet the Candidates panel discussion on Friday, May 9th, 2025, 6 o'clock p.m. at the Clara Methodist Memorial United Methodist Church, located at 5544 Ames Avenue, zip code 68104. So that'll be one more opportunity to have the candidates and District 2. Election day is May 13th. Have you made your plan to vote? Vote early or vote by mail, because your vote does matter. I have to say it one more time. If your vote didn't matter, they wouldn't be trying to find ways to put barriers or find things to ways to try to encourage you not to vote, to get rumors started not to vote, or like the ads. These ads are so negative now, and we knew it was going to come down to this because certain individuals who are running feel very threatened. They feel very threatened. And I'm not going to call any names, but you can fill in the blank. So that's the reason why the negative ads are getting more. And one other thing I did want to point out tomorrow, on Wednesday, May 7th, if you tune into the More, they will be hosting Sherman Wells on their program. That should be very interesting. Mark your calendars, get your drink ready and your popcorn, and go to themooreomaha.org and register to attend that. You can watch it online, stream, be part of it, or you can go to their Facebook page. And then on the 14th will be Juanita Johnson. So those are several things I wanted to bring to your attention, um, to make sure that you were aware of it. Also, I think there was one other, let me see here. Oh yeah. Um, Omaha City Council, will be honoring with a proclamation Malcolm X's 100th birthday. And I think that is fantastic that, um, Nebraska, first of all, and Iowa, um, Iowa. I mean, Nebraska and Omaha would be, representing or pro doing any proclamation for Malcolm X because he's not one of the favorite of many people. This was the other item I wanted to make sure the Douglas County officials did put out, and you can go to their website, just go to Douglas County Election Commission, and they have all of the dates for early in person by voting by mail. All of that information is out there. It is highly suggested that if you have not mailed in your ballot, it would be probably more prudent to take that to one of the drop boxes and put that in. So, with that, we will take a quick pause here and we'll be right back with our closing. I think we will. Everything went right. We had our quick pause and we're back for the closing again. I want to encourage everyone to get out and vote. May 13th, if you haven't done it by ballot, if you can go out right now to right not this minute, but you can still go all of this week to the Douglas County Election Commission office, 12220 West Center. It's in the Bel Air Plaza, and they're also extending some hours. I believe there's going to be on Saturday. They're going to have some hours. They've extended till I believe 6 o'clock. We will put that again out on our Facebook page for conversations with Cheryl Weston. So we want to make sure that, as much information that we can get, that's what we want to put out. We want you to have facts. Stop making decisions on, like I said, homeboy, homegirl, or, oh yeah, I know that name, or I remember them, or something. What are they going to do for you? Ask yourself that. Is this individual going to represent me? Are they going to take my feelings, my input into considerations when they vote? That's what you want to know. So whatever district you're in, because I know that there's individuals, everybody isn't just from District 2 who watches Conversations with Cheryl Weston. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So whatever your district, whoever your candidate is, you know, make sure you have an understanding. There's only two who didn't have anyone run against them, which I don't think that should ever happen in democracy. But anyway, Con Congressman, City Councilman Rowe and City Councilman Brinker Harding, those were the only two. All other districts have someone, you have a choice between two candidates. So this is your opportunity. Learn as much as you can about them and then make your decision. And it's always your decision. It's your decision to vote or your decision not to vote. I cannot make that decision for you. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And remember, go to Conversations with Cheryl Weston on YouTube. If you like, subscribe. We really would appreciate it. It helps us. And then also, like I said, I'm open to your comments. My information you can put in your comments. We want to make this show be a show that's for the people to be able to have comments or to be able to let us know what you would like to try to have on it. I'm always looking for topics because just because I think it's a good topic may not be, but I'm open to hearing it. So have a wonderful evening and look forward to next week's show. And actually, I should be putting that out. I think it's going to be Thursday. We are going to have a live show and open it up so that if you want to sign into it, I think we'll call it Open Mic Local Elections. So are they going to do it Thursday or it'll be Monday? Haven't quite decided. I guess I better hurry up since today is Tuesday. All right. Have a great evening. Look forward to next Conversations with Cheryl Weston.